Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another of our episode from Data Over Coffee, which has been evolving within the time because data is getting combined more nowadays with programming languages, AI codes, and those kind of things. So recently, I've been facing to have the question if I am actually an AI engineer or a data engineer. So actually, yesterday I introduced myself as an AI engineer, but all the things getting more mixed nowadays, especially with the skills nowadays. So in Data Over Coffee with my friend Arjun, we'll keep giving you value for you if you work in the data space, AI space, or software engineering space and QA space, because I think all those technologies are combined. And nowadays, especially for the story that we'll be telling today, you need to wear many hats when you create your own company, and one is this marketing leader, AI developer, so on and so forth. And today we have the great opportunity that Arjun will share us with us what has been for him the whole journey to create a app, which is totally different how it used to be in the past. And so before I will keep giving a bit of more introduction for that, I would like to give the welcome to Arjun. Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever you listen to us today. Hi, Arjun, how are you doing?
Hey, Ramon, I'm doing good. Thanks, man. It's been a crazy couple of weeks because of the launch of the app, and my health has been not that well. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot, and the 9 to 5 job on top of that. So it's been crazy. But I think things are settling down now. But I've been good, yeah. How have you been? How was your week? The weather was really bad here.
Has been really rough weather here for this summer in Auckland. However, I just want to relate with you because it happened to me as well. When I tried to put more stuff on top, I didn't want to listen my body, and then I get the red flag say like, I will send you something for you to feel it, or either you stop for the good reasons or the bad reasons. So normally I get some stuff in the eye, or something that come up. So, for example, an injury in the back because I'm doing too much weight on the weightlifting. But something happened that it tells you hey man, you need to slow down.
I know, right?
And within the years past, those things it happened more stronger. But I'm totally proud, man, that for you have been able to launch Owdyn. That you will tell us what it's about. But also, I would like to take a pause because AI has been a game changer for us from the last year. We curiously we started to use to create articles. We started to create images, but nowadays it's building a whole world, which means that I just catch up the other day with a company, and they say that they create their own timesheet software, and it was done by the intern who just started a few weeks back. And that it will put in puzzle all the SaaS industry. Then can you imagine that tomorrow your company will be creating zero for yourself? Not zero for like zero, like all the ERP
accounting
system.
software,
It will be created by an intern who just finished the unit last week.
Yeah.
That is insane. That is insane.
That is insane.
And also it will be put in path all this, but also it will give the great opportunity for someone like you that you have a problem that you wanted to resolve. And this is what I want you to invite you also as well, if you are listening to us, that if you have that idea that you thought you need to raise capital and go to a venture capital to just be able to build the software that it will cost you $500,000, what it used to cost you like 3 years back. A software, an application like Uber, it can take millions of dollars of development, but nowadays it can take you weeks working with you and something like Claude or ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot, but you don't need to raise any capital. So venture capitals are really in a hard situation nowadays, anything related with technology, because they used to take 90%, 70% of your company when they give you the budget.
It's really expensive.
But now you don't need that budget to create the app. So it's a game changer.
Yeah, I think you still need capital, but I think you can launch without backing from a venture capitalist. And when you feel like you need more infrastructure, you need more team because your product has grown so much, that is and when you have the revenue coming in, maybe the company is still in losses and still hasn't reached that break even point yet, but you have income stream coming in, and then you have people actually using your product. I think that is when you can approach the venture capitalists, and what it does is it increases your chance of getting that capital, and also it gives you a little bit of negotiation power. So the VCs uh, also also can see that this is not a very big risk. People are actually using it. The demand is actually there in the market. So the reason why venture capitalists ask for such big stakes for 40%, 50%, 60% is because if I come to you today, right, saying, hey, I have this idea that I want to build a software on, and I need $100,000 from you, right? Now, there is no backing, there's no data, there's no proof that this idea will work or not. So the risk is very high. And when the risk is high, the return, of course, will be higher. This is a plain economics concept. If there is a higher risk, there will be a higher return expected. So, so that is why venture capitalists ask more stake when they are investing in something which doesn't have a solid social proof or data backing their idea. So I feel like that is why most of the companies and most of the people who are building apps or products nowadays start bootstrapping. So they start on their own, or friends and family, or things like that, and reach a point where they can convince the VCs that, hey, look, this is a real problem. People are actually using the solution that we built. And now we are asking for your money because we want to grow. The company is growing. We want to hire more people. We want to build a team around it. We want to improve the product and solution. So that is where VCs will come in. I'm not saying that like most people can 100% go bootstrapping and they don't even need a VC. But some people who do, like, they will try and get this approach instead of instantly going to a VC and then asking for more money, and then in return giving 60%, 70% of their idea of their company to an investor. So yeah, I think that's the approach that I'm taking. I'm bootstrapping for now, and I've been lucky enough. I have done a few surveys, a few in LinkedIn polls. I've talked to a few people, so I've realized that the problem is there, and then I launched this beta version of the app. And there are, at the time of this recording, there are already about 15 people who are using the app in beta version, so which is really great. I have real users actually using the app, and I'm asking for their feedback now, but because it has only been like a week or so in beta, I think it's a bit early to ask feedback because it's a budgeting app, so they need to see how the month goes on and how they track their expenses. Does it make sense, does it not make sense, and things like that, and then I can start gathering feedback. But it's been great. One thing I wanted to point out here is that I don't have any background in software development or full stack development.
I have some question for you that I
Yeah.
will be using as interviewing you as a founder, but I would like to put some.
Yeah.
I have some questions here for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you will be. Of course, we will still in the boundaries from data, of course, but also to get into technology as well.
Yeah.
Firstly, start with the name.
So it's spelled out as Owdyn, and the idea of this name came from. So there were a lot of names that I was going like deciding between. One was Owly, one was Owdyn, the other one was it was long back, but there was another name. But then I wanted a name which represents the app's essence. And so the app's essence and the name came from the owl, which is the mascot of the app. And owl is also considered as a universal symbol of wisdom, right? So owls are considered to be wise. And the tagline of the app is your financial wisdom companion. So that is why the owl is the mascot, and that is why the Owdyn name OW comes from owl. And Owdyn is also the of Norse mythology. Owdyn, father of Thor, is also considered as god of wisdom. So the whole idea of the app is to help you gain your financial wisdom, and this app can be your companion in your journey of gaining this financial wisdom and making a bit of financial choices along the way. So that is why, yeah. Yeah.
So if you can spell the website name, and that way people can easily go there.
Yeah, if you go to owdyn.com, that is the app's address. So you can go to owdyn.com or owdyn.nz. You'll land in the app's website, owdyn.com.
Really simple. Just sign up and
yeah. So simply sign up. The app is in beta right now, which means so there will be 3 tiers of the app when the full public app launches, like the paid tiers launches. So there's a free tier which will be free forever. So there's no free trial or 7-day trial period or nothing like that. If you want just the basics, the free is completely free forever. So you can use it for as long as you want. Then there is a second tier, which is the plus tier. So it has more features. It will have bank sync, so auto connecting to your bank so that your transactions can be directly come into Owdyn. And then there's a wise tier, which is like the top tier of the app, which has furthermore features, more AI insights, and then analytics. So you can go deep dive into your spending patterns and habits, and Owdyn will identify behaviors. So if you spend more on weekdays or more on weekends, if you spend more on a Thursday or less on a Monday, so those are the patterns that we kind of miss in real life, but Owdyn can point those out and show them to you, so you can be aware of your spending patterns and spending behaviors, and then you can see how your category expenses have been going and things like that. But in beta mode, right now the app is in beta, and if you sign up right now during beta, you get the complete full wise tier access for completely free. So there's no payment required, no credit cards required. You don't have to pay anything for the app right now. You can simply sign up and you get all the features that the Owdyn Wise plan will have, which is the top tier, and you get them for completely free.
Wow. Yeah, I just signed up. Meanwhile, we're starting this call. I have it in my bucket list, but the reason why I'm signing up now is to you will get me through. Let's say if it's someone sitting in the other side of this podcast, but the first thing that I see and something that I like to start with is that allows me to sign up with Google account, which is something a plus, because you don't need to remember the password, something that I don't really happy to remember all the passwords. Yeah. But now I see that I like the logo as well. It tells me that it's old. It has a sort of like a greeny money color.
It's meant to be a calm. It's meant to be give you a calm, peaceful UI and design, so when it comes to money, right? People, money shouldn't make you feel stressed. It should be a calm environment. It should be peaceful, right? So it shouldn't be related to stress. So that's why I have tried to implement that in the app's design, so that when you look at the app, it gives that Zen feeling and that sense of calmness instead of freaking out.
That is represented here, man, and I think that has been well curated. But I'm just surprised, man. How many hours do you think it took you to create something like this? No matter if you've done it with AI, whatever. since the conception until the deployment, how many hours do you think it took you to create an app like this?
So I'll tell you this. How long has it been for Data Over Coffee? About 8-9 months.
Yeah.
I started working on this app before we started Data Over Coffee. So it's been in work since last 10 plus months. And although I have used Claude Code to write the coding of the app, but me coming from a software tester background, it is not like I have built this app in a week or 4 hours or something like that. There's a lot of review that has gone in, a lot of code changes that I have manually done, because I have that background of like reviewing the code. This is my day-to-day job. This is my 9 to 5. That's what I do. That's what I work on, right? So I review codes. I test whether the websites and the apps and things like that are working as expected or not. I find bugs. I try to break them. So that's what I did with Owdyn. I built, and there were 1,000 versions of every single thing that finally landed up here. The color palette, the placements of the buttons, the text, the logo changed like 7-8 times. The name changed like 3-4 times. So finally, this is what the product looks like. So it is not like you have built an app with AI. It is, yes, AI has helped me with a bulk of test code writing, but everything else has been done on a product SDLC lifecycle as it would go, a normal SDLC. So I created the requirements spreadsheet. I wrote down the user stories, what the app will have as a user, as a free user, free plan user, as a tier 2, as a plus user, as a wise user. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to do. So everything has gone in that. So it was a complete project that went for about 10 plus months. And then this is the final outcome of that project.
No, I think that it's really amazing, Arjun. I just want to say that I'm so glad, but I also want to tell you that it has been a lot of work, I can see in this app, has been a lot of work in the UX part. So all the steps are getting quite clean, and then go through the menu. I just want to say that if somebody tells you that you can create an app within 3 days, probably you can create a clunky app or face or user interface, but to end it up to something like every button works, you require time. And then totally, as Arjun said, so have you built, this is a question for you, have you built an app before?
No. So that's why I mentioned this earlier. I don't have any background in software development or building an app. I have built like the website for software, Softcraft Studio that I have. Just a quick update. Aside from this, the Softcraft Studio website has also gone a massive overhaul. So if you look at the website now, it is completely different to what it was. And I have also integrated our podcast into the website, so people have another place where they can go and see the podcast. So I moved it from,
it looks really good.
I moved it from Squarespace to Next.js website and hosted it on Vercel.
Wow, man, this is looking really good. I think I will fetch you to do something like that for my website.
Yeah.
No, I think that
and then there are some automations running in the website as well, and in the app as well. We'll come to that later. But yeah, so I didn't had any background in software development or building an app, but I did have like background and experience in testing the apps and testing the websites and things like that. So I was very close to the code, but I didn't had actual coding experience myself. So that is the part which I delegated to AI. And that is the part that Claude Code helped me with. But everything else, which I had experience with, I implemented that experience here. And because it is a budgeting app, right? So there are a lot of calculations that are going in the background. Like, so for example, the app is built around one number, which is safe to spend. Now, the problem that the app is solving is, let me ask you this. So you've got about $4,000 in your bank account, right? And there's a lovely IKEA couch that you want to buy, which costs say $1,000. So you check your balance, you've got $4,000. You say, oh yeah, fine, I can buy that, right? So you go ahead and you buy that couch today. Now this is the start of the month. Now next week your rent goes out, your power bill goes out, your other commitments go out, and it's only mid-month and you realize that you don't have enough money in your bank account, and now you're like, what do you do? So the question to you is, have you had any such situation in the past where you spent something and then during mid of the month or end of the month you were like, you were not able to save as much as you wanted to?
Yeah, of course. It happens all the time. That you think that you have budget and then you go out for the weekend and say, like, let's break it. And then you came back after the $4,000. You went in the mid of the month and you came back that on Monday you'll realize that you have $1,000. And you think that I will only leave that money aside to just spend in supermarket. However, you forgot about the internet bill that is coming up, the mobile bill that you decide to spend just more last month.
Exactly.
And then so many things that you're not prepared. And so you are being in overdraft.
Yeah, exactly. So when you go in overdraft, you will then, the only thing that you can do at that time is either you transfer your money from your savings or you use your credit card. Both the ways are not good. That's not ideal, right? That's not how financial growth works. So the problem that right now there is in the market is all the bank apps and all the budgeting apps will either show you your total balance of how much you have in your bank, or they will show you your net worth, which is like your assets minus your liabilities. But they don't show you how much you can actually spend today without touching any money that you have reserved for your budgets, your bills, your savings goal, or cash buffer. For example, say every month I want to keep $500 just for emergency case, just in case. So nobody shows you, after all that calculations, how much you have left today that you can safely spend. And if somebody would have shown you that, then at the start of the month, you will see this figure say, after calculating everything, there's only $1,000 that I can spend safely. So if there is anything that is above $1,000, that will mean that towards the end of the month, I will either have to transfer money from my savings, I will either have to cut down on my budgets, or I will either have to use my credit card. So or if you have that knowledge,
eat noodles until the end of the month.
Yeah, or you can eat noodles. Yeah, so if you have that knowledge right at the front of your month, that this is how much I can safely spend without actually touching anything, then don't you think that would be helpful?
No, definitely, because it will give you a sense of control and also a sense of visibility. And I think this is just personally, I've been tracking my expenses for a long time, but of course I have the same problem that you, and have my full-time job. I have this other company that I'm building, the podcast, this other thing, and so there's so many different bits and pieces. So to be fair, I know that I spend certain amount of money a month and I stay on that. And if I get, I make my savings at the end of the month. And so whatever that I have left, I need to live with that. So I don't worry much about my budget, but I'm lucky because my wife, she takes control on the budget in terms of the home expenses. So I think that I will introduce these apps to her, because probably it can be quite beneficial for us to manage the home expenses. So I think that definitely is a tool that I would like to try. But now coming back to the tech stack, okay? Because I understand what the app does really well, and then just to remind that I'm also proud that you create this tool. I would like to know, how do you decide the stack that you will be using of technology to create this app? Why do you went through React.js or something like that?
So the app is built on Next.js, not React,
Okay.
and the database is on Neon, and the app is hosted on Vercel. So that is the stack that I've been using.
Okay.
The reason to be honest, I did a little bit of research in using ChatGPT and Claude, and a little bit of my own going through their websites and stuff like that. And initially, when I started this, I just wanted free versions of everything. Like, I just wanted to keep my costs down. So for development, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not using anything that I'm paying hefty amount of money for. And because when you're actually building it, there's a lot that goes in, and then if idea doesn't work out or things like that, then you don't want to spend too much amount of time and money, because you're already spending too much amount of time. You don't want to spend too much amount of money into something that didn't work out. So my idea was to start with options that are good but also cost effective, right? So Vercel and Neon for database and hosting, they both have their free plans where you can do all the development. So your app development can be done for free. They don't charge you any monthly plan or anything. And when you're ready for launch and when you're ready to like Neon database is still free for me. So it only will be required to update when I have like 50,000. Is it? Yeah, I think 50,000 users or something like that. So if I have that, only then I need to upgrade it to a paid plan, which is also not that expensive. And then for Next.js, I just wanted, I basically just went with suggestions from Claude and ChatGPT to pick up the best options for building this app. Because I wanted to start off Owdyn as a web app and not as a native mobile app that you can download from App Store. So if I wanted to go that route for making it an app that is available on App Store and Play Store and things like that, then I would have gone for React.js because that builds the native mobile apps, and you can push the app to Play Store and App Store, Apple Store, and then you can download it from there. But I wanted to start off as a web app, and then the plan is to in the future make it a native mobile app. But to start off with, it wanted to be a web app, and that is why I went for Next.js.
And how you deal in terms with the security of the app?
So there are so in the app itself, all the third party integrations that are there for the app already have their own security integrated. Like Neon has its own security protocols, and Vercel has its own security protocols, and things like that. But in the app itself, in the design of the app, so no user can see or touch any other user's data, because every user, the tables are built in such a way that everything is related to the user ID, and user ID is unique for each user. So a user can only access their own data via the login. And then there is two-factor authentication also available on app. So if you want, you can, I think when you signed up, you would have got that set up two-factor authentication option, right? So you can skip that now and then go to settings later and then set up two-factor profile and then go to set up two-factor authentication. But also that So this is on the app's front end side that you can set up two-factor authentication. There is a in the code itself there is like s- session timeouts and auto logout functionality. So if you're inactive in the app for 30 minutes, it will automatically log you out and stuff like that. And it clears cookies. So every 24 hours, it clears the cookies. And so nobody can access your app. Or if even if you directly go to the URLs, you can't actually log in. You can't actually auto log in without giving the password and um, user ID and password. Also, in terms of security, I think what else would be there? The in transit and at rest. So encryption, all the data is encrypted in transit and at rest. So for example, for AI usage, when you generate your insights, so Claude is called. So the data that goes to Claude it goes in encrypted mode, and it only sends what is needed, which is like just the transactions and their amounts, and that's it, and the date, and that's it. So it doesn't send any PII, personal information, to cloud. So your personal information is saved. Your passwords are never stored in plain text, so they are all encrypted and stored as encryption keys. So even I, as the owner and access to database, I cannot see what your password is. So I cannot access your account at all. I can see who the users are, but that is basically because I have access to the database, but I cannot access their accounts at all.
Okay.
So that is the
But
level of security that we have gone.
can you access to people's information? Of course, any apps does it anyways.
I mean, yeah. So I have access to database, so I can see how many users are there. I can see how many transactions are there, things like that. So that is like generic, right? Every database user, every database owner can see that in every app, in every website, in every company, right? So that is only the level of access that I have, and nothing more than that. So as a database owner, I cannot see your account. I cannot see anything. But I can see at the database level how many users I have, how many transactions I have, how many accounts I have. So I can run queries on that, but I cannot access your account at all.
Yeah, no, man, I just checking out the app and I really like it because even though that the connection with the bank is coming soon, you can start with the starting balance. And the other thing that I like, man, I don't know, I just think that you think and everything because it's just the walk through when you start the app. You know that those tools that the apps gives you is added here.
Yes.
And yeah, you thought
So the
so
idea
much,
is,
man.
the idea is that to make it as simple as possible. That is why the guided tour is there. The first time when you sign up to the app, you get the guided tour of, okay, go here and add your first account, go here and add your first transaction. So you get an idea of where to navigate to do these actions. And then of course you can go to the settings and see everything. You have in app notifications, you have email notifications. So if you want, you can set up notifications. So if any account, so for example, there are low balance alerts and large transaction alerts. So if I set these two as on, then I can give how much amount of the threshold there will be. So for example, if any account goes below $500, then I need to be notified, right? If any transaction is above $1,000, then I need to be notified. So what it will do is, every time there is a transaction that is more than $1,000, you will get an email notification from Owdyn that, hey, this is a transaction you might want to check.
But
right?
those transaction gets flag it because you
That
importing the transaction from your bank, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So every time um, every time there is a import happening from your bank, like you can import CSV, right? So every bank allows you to download a CSV format of your statement. So you download that CSV format, chuck it in Owdyn, and it tracks all the transactions. It loads all the transactions. It auto categorizes them based on whatever categories you have. You can also create custom categories. So for example, the basic categories are there, default categories are there. But if you go to settings, and then if you go to categories, you can create custom categories. So for example, there is you have a pet, and you want all the expenses related to pet to go in the pet category, right? So you create a custom category for yourself which is only applicable to you. So what you do is you just create the pet category, tick what type of expense it is. Is it expense or income? And then you can even choose an emoji. So if you have like a pet, you create a pet emoji and then the color, and then it creates that category automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are great functions. Now let's jump into what are the things that you think that if you start again from scratch, you will do differently?
Okay, so I think
Everything.
if I no, not everything. I'm happy with what came out. If I start from scratch, so when I started this app, right, to be honest, I wasn't that familiar with how even vibe coding works. So I wasn't that familiar. So what I used to do was I used to give prompts to Claude and ChatGPT in chat sessions, and then create the code, and then I would open my Visual Studio and create a file in there, and then copy the code in there, and then do that. Now, because of that, what happened was there was a lot of hallucinations, because a chat session can only be
context.
Yeah. So every time I used a new session or opened a new session, I had to give a complete context of what was done and how we did. Reference files, like you can refer to these and make sure you follow this format and things like that. So it was not very efficient, right? So then I moved to Claude Code. So I gave access to the folder where in the local where the app files are, and from there it was a smooth sail. So it had all the context, it had all the files, it had everything, access to all the code base, and what was done, what was not done, everything was Claude Code had access to, because it was in that folder. So if I had to start from the beginning, from scratch, I would definitely start with Claude Code from day one, instead of copy pasting this code from the chat sessions to Visual Studio, and then writing those.
And which subscription do you have in GitHub Copilot? In Claude, do you have the Pro or you have the one?
I have Pro.
Or the Max. Pro. Okay, Max wasn't required.
No. Max is not required. So even in Pro, I get like session limits and monthly limits, but session limits and weekly limits, I think. Yeah, weekly limits. But it was enough. Okay. And having those limits is actually good, because then you don't go overexhaust yourself. Because when the session limit reaches, you're like, you can't do anything. So just stop working, take a break, and when the limit resets, come back and complete your work. So it also gives you that option to take a break forcefully. So I would suggest do not go for Max. Pro is enough.
Okay. It's a quite a vicious cycle that you keep asking more and more questions to come up with more and more answers. Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And what do you think that, for example, I don't have any idea from creating an app so far. What do you think if it's because I heard that people creating apps and they became millionaires, but now I see that you are creating an app to solve a problem that you have. Okay, so that is the first thing that you are planning to do. What do you think that will be the approach for someone to creating an app nowadays?
I think if you want to create an app now, because of vibe coding and because of availability of AI, it has become very easy to create an app, first of all. So I was reading an article about it, and there's again the demand and supply problem that every economist love, and economics being one of my favorite subjects, I love it. um, every time there is a massive supply, the demand automatically goes down. That is like the basic, right? So because AI has made it so simple, and vibe coding has made it so simple for anyone to go and build an app, there are so many apps in the market that are vibe coded and that are out there, but the demand for them may be not as good um, as the founders expected. The reason why that are could be two, actually. One, the problem actually doesn't exist, or
Mhm.
the people are not familiar with the problem. So you need to be very careful in what problem you are trying to solve. Um, so So the problem that I am trying to solve is giving people that visibility from day one in what they can spend, so that they are consciously spending on anything and they are not regretting at the month end, like, where did it all go? So they are able to make better financial decisions and help them save more towards the end of month, because the cost of living crisis is really, like, it's real right now. The fuel prices have gone up and everything is going up. So at this time we need to be very careful of where we are spending the money. So the idea is that make sure that the problem that you're solving is there in the market, and people are aware of that problem. And then you and the second point is that some apps also don't work that well is because they're not marketed well. So like you mentioned in the starting, when you build an app, right, or when you build anything, you wear a lot of hats. I also recently posted about it on LinkedIn, that during the day I'm a senior test analyst, and then during the night and over the weekends I'm a product owner, I'm a designer, I'm a coder, I'm everything, like everything that the app wants me to be. So part of that is also a marketer. So you also need to make sure what approach you are taking for marketing. So if the solution is there but nobody knows about it, then of course nobody will use it. So you have to ensure that you market your product well and make sure that it reaches the right audience at the right time. And that is, I think, a very crucial part of building a vibe coded app or something like that. Like, yeah, I'm not against vibe coding, right? Like, Owdyn is 50%, 60% vibe coded. um, Although I have like reviewed every single line of code and things like that, but the code is written by AI. So vibe coding is real and it is good. It saves you a lot of time, it saves you a lot of effort, it creates consistency, and everything is good. But the problem it won't solve for you is how you take your final product to the market. So so that is one thing that you need to plan first, that whether the problem is real, how you're going to solve that problem, and second, when you have a solution, how will you take this solution to the market. that is the very that is a very important thing to decide before you actually start building anything. Like, what is your strategy? How are you going to do it? If I were to do it all over again, I would probably spend more time on marketing in the start. Like, I basically spent a lot of time in building the app first, because like I told you, right, it's been in the making for last 10 months, but I've already only started posting about it in the last couple of weeks. So I would have been more proactively marketing it if I were to do it from scratch. So I would definitely um, put the solution out there that I'm building this, and I start making people aware of what's coming. So that is what I would have done if I were to start it from all over again, because that would have given me a runway of like 7-8 months, of making the people aware of what I'm working on and what is coming, and then that would have increased the reach of the app even better.
But I think that is a fair point, because sometimes we don't share what I am doing, because sometimes we
Be-
doesn't know if we will end it up in the right time on the right solution with it. For example, I remember that some time ago I asked you what you were building, and you hesitated a little bit, don't tell me what it was about.
yeah.
But tell me why, what could be the reason why you are keeping that in secret?
Yeah, I think you answered to that question already. It's because sometimes we don't know whether what we are working on will actually work or not. So we don't want to keep our hopes high and announce everything first, and then realize that it didn't work and nothing is there. So that was my reluctancy, that I didn't wanted to announce it at that time, because I was not sure how it's gonna turn out, whether I'll be able to actually build something meaningful or not, and I didn't want it to go through that. Like, I didn't want it to let people know that this is coming and then not deliver. So that
Yeah.
was my sort of hesitance, that stopped me from sharing this, before
And
before the product was actually
if you
ready.
will create a new app in the future, would you like to share from the beginning?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I said. Like,
Yeah.
I would definitely talk more about it in the early stages as well, in the times of development as well, because that is what I have learned from this journey, is that, again, one, if the problem is real that you're solving, if you have a good idea of the solution, um, then just believe in yourself, and and I think if I communicate this in the early stages, that I'm building something like this is the solution and all that then it also brings that sense of accountability to my work, right? So that I have told everybody, like, I have announced that I'm working on it, so I definitely need to work on it, I need to finish it. So there is that sense of accountability that comes in, and I think that is also something that can help you with actually delivering the product. So at times, like, because building something, being a founder is a very lonely journey, right? So you work on something, you build something, and then things don't work out, and then because you're the only one close enough to that solution, you're like, okay, crap, what, fine, it's not working out, I'll just scrap everything and let's move on. But when you have told it to other people, you have involved them in this group of people who know that you are working on this thing, then there is a sense of accountability. Before actually deciding this, that you don't want to continue it, you then start thinking about, what will other people think? Like, I have committed this, I have told them that I'm working on this, they are expecting me to deliver this, so no, I have to find a way to make this work. I think that is very important, and that can make or break your journey as you're working on something and then building something. So I think that's really important.
Oh, yeah. Now that was meaningful, Arjun. I think that all of us we face our own devils when we create something like this.
Yeah.
But I just want to encourage people that who are listening us to create your own solution, because as I just mentioned, since we started that, I will see more companies and more people developing their own apps. Of course, be cautious and also be responsible for the things that you create, in terms of not just because you deploy an app that means that the job is complete. You will need to constantly refresh, change certain stuff. So be willing to, before to jump into the next one, be willing to maintain it, to support it, and also provide the value that you say that you will be offered to the users of, because finally, even though that we're not paying with money, because it could be a beta version or just a standing version, is that you are providing certain value and someone is trusting you in the relationship. So this is what I will, because I will see probably more apps it will come up, and it's really interesting at the times that we're living nowadays. I just want to wrap it up on here, Arjun, and I would like to say thank you for sharing your experience of building an app like this. If it hasn't been much about in the data space, but here you can understand like how Arjun took the approach from the building from the base database secure approach until the done, which is the front end. And this is what we do with data nowadays. It's like
Yeah.
we are the core of many systems in the organizations, in our personal life. But then on top, you can create AI agents, you can create mobile apps, or you can create so many things. But the core also will be the data. Data
Mm.
is the foundation that we need to keep it like really clear and understand. So thank you very much, Arjun. Would like to say something before I do the close up?
No, I think thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share about Odin in today's episode.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people resonate with the problem that I'm trying to solve, and I hope as many people like as possible can go and sign up and find Odin helpful. And do let me know if you guys sign up. There's a feedback button in the app, so do let me know what's working, what's not working, what is it that can change in Odin. But yeah, I mean, just give me feedback on Odin. That would be really helpful. And I think, yeah, any support, any kind of support, any shout out, any spread the word would be really appreciated. So thank you so much for that. And that's it from me. Thank you. Back to you, Ramon.
Thank you, Arjun. Just to close it up, thank you everyone for listening us in either Spotify or YouTube. We reached already the episode 10. Looking forward to reach up to the episode 20, and we are not planning to stop this podcast. So keep tuned up to listen us, and we'll be coming out every second week with a new episode. So just keep you posted on the things that are coming up. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the week if you are starting the week, or a lovely weekend if you are about to start the weekend. I hope they have a great time. This is Arjun and Ramon ready, and we'll be here around for your support. Always, you can find our emails and contacts, LinkedIn profiles in the footage of this video. So feel free to flick us as a message or email. All right. Have a great time. We catch up later. Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.